Hello, my very dear vampire friends. It is with great pleasure that I come back to you once again with a new video, a bit special as you can hear, with a voice this time. Let me tell you right away, this is not my real voice. I am using an AI-generated voice because I don't think my spoken English is very proficient. I believe my pronunciation wouldn't make the video very dynamic, so I chose this solution that suits me better. I hope you will still enjoy it. So, I'm making this video to reveal my little secrets about the construction aspect in V-Rising, what techniques I use, and some practical knowledge I've gained over the 2 years I've been playing this game. First point, let's start with the settings of your game to put you in what I call creative mode. I know other YouTubers have already talked about this, so I won't dwell too much on it. The most important thing to remember is that when you create a new game, regardless of the difficulty, you first need to go to the advanced game settings. Here you will have access to many useful parameters. For example, in the building tab, the one with the little hammer, you can make construction free by reducing the build cost multiplier to 0. Thanks to this, everything you build will cost you nothing. Similarly, for the refinement cost multiplier, I also reduce it to 0. Here is the limit of tiles available per level of the castle heart. I set all these values to the maximum so I can build freely and without restrictions from the beginning. The same goes for the castle height limit. I set it to the maximum, as well as castle heart limitation. For all the special items, I set everything to the maximum, like this. In short, I maximize everything related to having more things to build, as well as the construction and refinement times. I set their multiplier to the maximum. This way, if you need to create an object in the game with a production table, it will be very fast. Finally, I set all the decay rates and blood essence drain to the lowest. Next, I go to the progression tab, the one with the little book, and I set the starting equipment and starting level to the maximum. I don't need to touch the starting resources because everything is free anyway, so I don't really need those starting resources. For the rest, I really invite you to take a look at all these settings and take the time to adjust your game as you wish. Once you have taken the time to set everything up according to your preferences, don't forget to press save, then back, give your game a name, and you can start. That's basically how to set up the creative mode. Secondly, I will answer the most frequently asked question in the comments. How do you stack multiple walls? It's actually very simple. It's called invisible foundation. What does it do and what is it used for? Well, it serves two purposes. One, creating an opening in the floor, except for the ground level of the map. It doesn't work on that. And two, it provides a support surface, a buildable surface for walls and pillars. Here's an example. You have the floor of an upper level. With invisible foundation, you can create an opening like this and see what is below. You see? Another example, you have these walls here, and you want to build more on top of them to have a very large room, like a grand royal throne room or a cathedral, etc. You need to create a path of invisible foundation up to the lower walls. Let's try without the invisible foundation first.
I cannot build here.
You see, it doesn't work. Now let's create a path with invisible foundation up to these walls, just like this. And now you're able to build walls on top. Additionally, thanks to invisible foundation, you can create pillars and walls directly in the air. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly, let's talk about admin commands. For me, mastering certain commands is more than practical for building faster and more efficiently. The very first command to know, the most obvious one even, is AdminAuth. This is the command that grants you admin rights on your game or personal server. So you open your console, the shortcut for that is usually the key just to the left of the 1 on your keyboard. You open the console, start typing AdminAuth, and you will get the command suggestion. You select it with tab and press enter. Now, as you can see in the chat window at the bottom left, you have indeed become the super admin, and now you have access to all the other admin commands. I really mean all of them, because without the super admin status, you are limited to about 40 commands compared to 100 as a super admin. Second command. This isn't really a command, but it requires super admin rights to be activated. Teleporting on the map. It's very simple. You open the map like this, choose a location where you want to go. Let's take here, for example. You hold down Shift and Control and simply click on the map. And there you go, you've arrived. Handy, right? No more need to travel on foot or horseback. Let me show you a second time. Here, for example, Shift, Control, and click. And there you are, arrived at your destination. It's truly one of the most useful commands I know. Third command, short distance teleportation. As its name suggests, this command allows you to teleport a short distance to where your cursor is. You open the console, type teleport, self, cursor. Normally everything is suggested to you each time, then press enter. And here's the result. You have successfully teleported to the cursor's location. Again, teleport, self, cursor, enter. Remember this command, I will talk about it again a bit later. Fourth command, toggle invulnerable. With this, you simply become invulnerable to damage. You need to type toggle invulnerable 1 to activate it, and toggle invulnerable 0 to deactivate it. A very important command because it makes you invulnerable even to the sun. This allows you to build peacefully without always having to stay in the shade. Let me show you. As you can see, I am still vulnerable to the sun and taking damage. Now toggle invulnerable 1. And now the sun should no longer affect me. See? Note that this command remains activated by default even after you disconnect from the game. Give and giveset. Give places the item you want in your inventory in the number of copies you determine, the maximum being 10,000. For example, give bone. You choose bone with tab, then 10,000. And there you go, 10,000 bones in your inventory. Giveset is almost the same, except it gives you a specific set of items. Hats, capes, armor sets, etc. It's up to you to explore the suggestions, but the most important one for us, I would say, is giveset seeds. First, let's drop everything here to make some space. Good. Now type giveset, then seeds, like this, and there you go. You have almost all the seeds available in the game. There are just 2 missing, which are the weeping willow sapling, the tree found in Dracula's garden, and the thistle seed, a plant that is not currently used in the game. And I even have the impression that the model of this plant is not finalized. But maybe Stunlock will do something with this seed in the near future. So to find the last 2 missing seeds, you just need to get them with the give command. Give, weeping, enter, and there you go. The seed is in our inventory. Same for the other seed, thistle. Here's the right suggestion. Enter, and there you go. Hidehud and showhud. Simple to understand, it hides and shows the HUD. Perfect for making castle tour videos. Let's try it. Hidehud. As you can see, no more HUD on the screen. All right, let's bring it back with showhud. Perfect. Next, we have addtime. Very important, it allows you to advance time in the game. You can add from 1 to 12 hours of game time. I'll show you. I type add, choose add time, enter a value between 1 and 12, let's say 5. Look at the game timer here, press enter, and there you go. 5 hours have passed instantly. I'll show you again, add time, choose a value, let's say 7 this time, and there you go, another 7 hours in the game. Very, very practical too. Remember this well. I'll talk about it again later. Note that you cannot go back in time, you can only add time. And also, the added time does not really affect the resource refinement delays. Toggleobserve. With this one, you can become completely invisible with toggleobserve 1 or become a ghost with toggleobserve 2. Let me show you. Toggleobserve 1. I am now invisible, practical for a server admin. Now toggleobserve 2. And here's what the ghost mode looks like. In Ghost or Invisible mode, you can pass through walls, cross ravines, walk in water areas, or go almost anywhere on the map. Let me show you. See? A normal player could never stand in this river, and you can even automatically climb hills like this. No obstacle will stop you. And to become visible again, just type toggleobserve 0. Very useful command too. I'll talk about it again. Next, TeleportToChunk. TeleportToChunk allows you to teleport to specific coordinates on the map. You select TeleportToChunk, and coordinates are suggested here, as you can see. Let's choose these ones. Why not? 10, 10. And here we are, right in the copper mine. Let's try other coordinates, say 15, 10. And here we are in the bear cave. Oh, hello, Kodia. Easy there, bear. All right, let's return to our starting point. There. You can certainly find the list of interesting coordinates on the net. Why am I telling you about this command when teleporting directly via the map is faster and more convenient? In fact, with TeleportToChunk, you can go to an inaccessible place for regular players, which is DevIsland. To do this, you just need to enter TeleportToChunk, 7 and 2, enter, and there you are, on DevIsland. DevIsland is a place for admins, and basically it's made for testing without disturbing other players on the map. By the way, look where we are. You really have to know there's something here to come to this place. Let me show you what the place looks like from above. See, it's just a very large, empty field. On the sides, you will normally find all the nodes of the game, copper, iron, sulfur, gems, etc., and it's entirely possible to build here. I can place a castle heart here and start laying my foundations. I've always planned to build a castle here, but I haven't decided to do it yet. And finally, the last admin command I wanted to tell you about, Console.Bind. Really very, very useful. This command allows you to create a shortcut for another command on a key of your keyboard. An example, I want to teleport short distances quickly without having to retype the command teleport self cursor each time. With Console.Bind, you can create a shortcut for this action. So you type Console.Bind, choose the key you want, why not V, then write the command that will apply to the V key, teleport self cursor, and press enter. And now you should have your shortcut active. Let's try to see, if I press the V key, I should teleport directly to the location of my cursor. Perfect. Now I can move extremely quickly from one place to another in my castle, which makes my task much easier. So if you also want to dive into castle building, I strongly advise you to create shortcuts for the following commands: addtime 12, teleport self cursor, toggleobserve 0, toggleobserve 2, and of course all the other commands that you find useful. You'll see it will change your life, and it will be very useful for what I still have to show you. Now I'm going to talk a bit about plants, especially their growth time. Two things to know first. 1 hour in the game is equivalent to 45 seconds in real time, under normal settings of course. And 2, the addtime command affects the growth of plants and trees. Thanks to this, I was able to calculate the time it takes for trees and plants to appear. Plants take 93 in-game hours to appear, which is about 70 minutes in real time. Trees, if you didn't know, have 2 growth stages. A tree will take 120 in-game hours to appear, so 90 minutes in real time, and it will be slightly smaller in size. Then it will need an additional 78 in-game hours to reach its final size, so a total of 198 in-game hours, which is equivalent to 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 30 seconds in real time for a tree to fully grow. I told you that the addtime command affects the growth of plants. It allows you to speed up plant growth by adding in-game hours. No more waiting for hours to see how certain plants will look in your castle. I'll bring up my table on the screen again, and what should interest you most is the last column, where I write how many repetitions of the addtime 12 command you need to make the plants appear. Let's test all this. I am going to plant some flowers here. So for flowers, do the addtime 12 command 8 times. Thanks to my 8 shortcut, which is bound to the command, I press it 8 times, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And there you go, the flowers have bloomed. Let's do the same with trees now. I will plant a tree here. Press H 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And here is a tree, but only at its first growth stage. Let's press it 7 more times, making it 17 times in total. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. And here is your tree at its final size. I really use the addtime command a lot to decide which tree or plant to place where, and especially to avoid waiting for hours to see the result. For the next tip, I'm going to talk to you about pillars, but mainly about the heads of the pillars, these Gothic spikes here. Many people wonder if it's possible to remove them because, let's admit it, even though they are very stylish most of the time, having the option to display them or not would be a real plus. Well, the answer is no. But also yes. Yes, but. Because there is a but, it's only temporary. Let me explain. Here is a series of pillar heads. Imagine you want to remove them because you might find them too imposing or too ugly in an interior room of your castle. The normal solution would be to simply delete the pillars entirely. But no, here we specifically want to keep the pillars. It's just their heads that bother us. So how do we do it? Simply place a pillar over the pillar head you want to remove. Then move the pillar. You don't destroy it, you move it. Do this for all the spikes you want to remove. Finally, place the pillar on a flat surface, and only then can you destroy it. It's great, right? And I would answer yes. Only, as I mentioned earlier, it's just a temporary solution. If you make certain construction modifications in your castle, or if you log out and then log back in, the pillar heads will be back. Too bad. But for the duration of a video, this tip might be useful, who knows. Anyway, I keep looking for a more permanent solution to this problem, and I won't hesitate to keep you updated if I find one. And even if it's not a real tip, I still wanted to tell you about it. Maybe someone among you will find a better solution and share it with all of us. And finally, my last tip, and I think many of you have been looking for a way to do this, to be able to place anything, anywhere. Almost. But just before, let me show you something funny. In the latest game release trailer for PS5, you can see something ridiculous at one point. Right here. Those who have already tried know very well that it is impossible to place a throne on a 1x1 tile, as shown in this trailer. Can we say that Stunlock is trolling us? Anyway, with the tip I'm going to show you, this becomes possible. I won't take credit for this tip. It was Reddit user Anaka23 who came up with this ingenious idea, using a teleport command on objects. I'll put the link to his post in the description. The technique is simple. You need to set up a shortcut with the following command: teleport. Closest unit to cursor, self. With this, you can now pull an object considered as a unit towards you. The only objects not considered as units, as far as I know, are all walls, stairs, rugs, paths, and plants and trees. For everything else, it should work pretty well. Let's see what can be done with this. Believe me, you'll be amazed. First, let's set up our shortcut. Console.Bind. I'll choose G for my key, teleport closest unit to cursor, and self, enter. Now let's create a pergola here. Then a table and a chair there. We've all thought it's really annoying that we can't build a table and chair directly under the pergola, right? Well, now it's possible. First, I aim where I'd like to place the table, then I teleport to the desired spot. Now I aim at the table with my cursor and activate my shortcut G. And there you go, I've teleported the table to where I am. It's amazing. There are no other words. So to summarize, the steps are: 1. Build the object somewhere and in the right orientation. 2. Teleport to the desired location for the object. 3. Teleport the object using the command teleport, closest unit to cursor, self. 4. Enjoy. Note that you might sometimes get stuck, in which case the ghost mode commands will be useful. Here's another even crazier example. I build a staircase, then I build a statue and a torch. Make sure to check the orientation before teleporting the object. You won't be able to change the orientation once the object is teleported because the game won't place it back in the same spot. Now I aim at the spot I like for the statue. I teleport there. I aim at the statue, and boom. The same process for the torch. I position myself where I want to place it, then I aim at it and teleport it. It's revolutionary. Be careful though. Sometimes you might teleport an object you weren't aiming at, but that was, for example, on an upper floor and the game thought that was what you were looking at. Other than that, the technique works really well. No more off-center objects. You can even stack several, place them in normally inaccessible spots. Here are several other examples. Here we have chairs neatly arranged under the table. Here is the teleporter with a tree inside. There we have a fountain in a cliff. Here are statues on the railings and on the roof. Lights on a table. The small table finally centered on the rug. And finally the throne on a 1x1 tile. We're reaching the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I also hope it answered many of your questions, or at least showed you new things. Feel free to let me know all this in the comments. See you very soon for a new castle tour. Bye-bye.
Hello? Midnight greetings.